This video is like part 3.5 because part 4 is going to talk about the petrodollar, but I need to step it back and give you the important context as to what the West was doing in the oil fields in the first place. In 1901, British financier William Knox D'Arcy secures a concession from the Shah of Persia to search for oil. He then founds the Anglo-Persian Oil Company, which later becomes BP. In 1908, they find oil at Mashed Suleiman. This is the first major oil find in the Middle East. Britain now has a vested interest in securing and controlling these fields. In January 1914, the British Foreign Office tells the Anglo-Persian Oil Company that resolving Mesopotamian oil control is now urgent. In March 1914, the Turkish Petroleum Company gets restructured. The Anglo-Persian Oil Company end up owning half, and Shell end up owning the other half. And in June 1914, the British government buys 51% of the Anglo Petroleum Oil Company. During this 6-month period, Shell and APOC start scaling up their tankers. The First World War kicks off on the 28th of June 1914. By November 1914, British forces have captured Faho and Bassa, securing them the pipeline routes that run from Mesopotamian oil fields through the Ottoman Empire. Securing oil was the expressed aim of World War I, not just a collateral gain. The contracts are what drove the action. Money talks. Britain did not stumble into war. The government had already nationalised another country's oil assets. And parliamentary decisions, company deals, and troop movements all coordinate around securing APOC's access to Persian oil fields. After securing the oil, Western governments start to realise that they are going to need a permanent foothold in the Middle East to keep control of these strategic trade routes. Local Arab, Ottoman and tribal groups were directly threatening Britain's plans. In 1920, when the British announced a mandate over Iraq, the Iraqi Revolution broke out. Over 130,000 Iraqis start attacking British garrisons, and Britain loses control of the countryside. 450 British soldiers are killed, and the revolution costs the British state £40 million to suppress. The Arabs were also doing stuff like releasing pamphlets into Europe that accused Britain of stealing Arab oil. They were calling loudly and globally for boycotts of British products. In Palestine, Arabs saw the proposed Haifa oil terminal as theft of their land and resources. There were riots in 1920, 1921, 1927, 1936. Between 1936 and 1939 is the Arab Revolt. These are full-scale insurgencies against the British. They block the pipeline, they attack British trains and oil cargo, and they also call into Europe for boycotting Britain. Leaders across the Middle East, from Egypt to Syria, they are already economically boycotting Britain, and secret reports, the file CO733/12 from the UK National Archives, if you want it. CO stands for Colonial Office. Box 733 covers the British mandate in Palestine. These documents show that British officials really did fear a region-wide uprising against them, and that if that happened, they would have no more oil for their industrial revolution, which in 1914 is a big deal. They didn't know about wind energy yet. This is where the need for the settler colony comes from. London knew that it would have to station and train soldiers in the region indefinitely to keep this going. That would drain the treasury. They needed a permanent, loyal population in the region. Enter Zionists.